Hey everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV and your latest Liverpool news update. I'm Dan Club, that's Chloe Bloxham, as you can see on the screen right there. We're going to look through some of the news relating to the Reds. It's doing the rounds on social media, in the newspapers, online and beyond. First off though, Chloe, how are we?
All right, yeah. It's too hot. But
it is,
whilst not being hot either.
For somebody who famously wanted to be hot all the time and despises the cold.
I want it to be hot. This is stuffy. This is vile. There's no sun. I can't sunbathe. I can't do anything.
True. All true.
It's just far too humid.
All true. All very true.
Anyway.
Yeah, time to move away from the temperature on Merseyside at the moment. And we'll talk about some news stuff. Leny Yoro, Chloe, I'll kick us off with. He is on the front, so it's not a bad place to start. Now, Liverpool's interest in Leny Yoro has been reported on for a good few weeks now, as David Ornstein a couple of weeks back, who sort of broke the news that Liverpool were amongst the teams that were interested in Leny Yoro and wanted to potentially make that deal happen at some point. Since then, it's always kind of been caveated by the fact that Real Madrid are very, very strong favourites to make that deal happen, of course. Real Madrid haven't really done anything. I guess they're just sitting there quite confidently saying, well, we know he wants to come to us. We know we want him at some point. It'll happen. Now, Manchester United are throwing a bit of a spanner into the works here by having a bid accepted yesterday. Leny Yoro still seemingly not sort of willing to go to Manchester United, which is a thing, but at this point, Chloe, do Liverpool now need to sort of throw our hat into the ring and say, oh, don't forget about us?
I think Liverpool need to make a decision. At some point, they're going to have to decide whether they actually want to continue in the saga or if they just want to give it up. Because I think even with a bid accepted, I don't think Leny Yoro wants to go to Manchester United, and I don't think he will go to Manchester United. So Liverpool have to kind of decide what they want to do. They could stay in the race and just, wait on it, but also are we just wasting time somewhere else or missing out on something else? But they will have to react potentially to what Manchester United have done in terms of saying, okay, here's a bid, we want the same, let him choose between us two if that United transfer does fall through. But I think we're all not stupid. It's not going to fall through. And there is absolutely no rush for Real Madrid. There's no rush for Leny Yoro, because if it doesn't happen, obviously this summer, well, don't worry, he's got 12 months left on his contract, and we've just seen that happen with Kylian Mbappe, and look at where he ended up. So Leny Yoro will either be in the white of Real Madrid either this summer or next summer. Yeah,
it definitely looks that way. And I've seen Fabrizio Romano suggesting it might be sort of in line with the Camavinga deal, whereby they just waited and waited and waited, and it did happen eventually. I think it was actually on a deadline day in 2021. That deal finally came to fruition. But yeah, it's interesting. I think the problem for me is, like, we've all sort of been told we need to be patient in this transfer window, and I think we're all kind of on board with that. Lots of the rationale and the reasoning is the fact that there's so many players at Copa America, European Championships, of course, and Arne Slot wants to see his squad and see his players and see what he has at his disposal. And again, I don't disagree with that, really. But I think me and you are on the same page when it comes to the transfer market, because yes, that's fine, but that and being active in the transfer market and doing business, they don't have to be sort of mutually exclusive. They can kind of both exist at the same time. We speak a lot about the Calafiori stuff as well. Just to get your take on that, really, before we move on to more stories, like, I think we both like Liverpool still to be active and still to be doing stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Look, you can't use this as an excuse to miss out on players who actually you may have identified but do not want to, kind of take the shot yet to go for them. You can't miss out on players just because this is happening. If there's someone that Liverpool identify there as someone who they should be potentially in for, Liverpool will have to make a decision. They can't use this kind of new manager weird coming situation. International
it's a transition
break.
But still, you're right.
It is, but you can't use it as an excuse, because ultimately, come the start of the season, if you don't have the players that you now need and they've all got off to rivals, then it's you who's stuck behind. And sadly, football waits for no one in this. You've got to be proactive, and you can't miss out on things. The Calafiori one's mad. I would love him to be in the red of Liverpool. It looks like he'll be in the red of Arsenal instead. And it's mad how Liverpool haven't really reacted to any of that. I understand, obviously, we've got to wait what happens with the Sepp Vandenberg, but also it was a couple of weeks ago where he tried to force a move away from Liverpool and his attitude was not okay back then. So, yeah, look, I agree. Arne Slot needs to look at his squad. He needs to identify who he wants to keep, who he wants to sell, because, you know, not just is that important for what the team or the squad looks like, but it's all important for funds as well that we can then maybe reinvest. But also, Liverpool can't be sat there twiddling the funds and doing nothing. They've got to make sure that their targets are there. And if a target is then, like Luis Diaz, approached by the likes of Spurs or someone, Liverpool will need to act fast, and that's what they've got to do.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And according to reports, as you mentioned, the Manchester United bid, and it's reportedly between the 60 and 70 million euros mark, and it has been claimed Liverpool will be willing to match that if needs be. So let's just wait and see what happens. Did you see Leny Yoro's tweet last night as well?
Yeah, I saw the fake Leny Yoro.
And then he quote tweeted, I thought it was quite funny. I mean, what that means in terms of Manchester United's chances, I'm not quite sure.
He didn't rule it out.
No, but the fake tweet was ruling it out, wasn't it? It said, I don't want you, Manchester United, go away, basically. Or something like that. Yeah, and he basically just said, come on now, let's play the game here, which is, you know, fair enough, I guess. But ultimately, it doesn't mean he's going to go anywhere but
mad though that, like, he's even respond to that.
Yeah, it is a little bit. I mean,
who cares?
I guess it is.
It's a fake account that's got 100 followers.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. Jan Hanna in the comments says, United are sorting their club out whilst Liverpool seem to be sitting on their hands. And it's kind of what we spoke about a moment ago, really. And again, I think we're both on board with the reasons as to why. Richard Hughes mentioned them all the other day, as I said, but I think I'd also like Liverpool to be doing a little bit of stuff, personally.
There's got to be names there that we've identified already. And you can come and have a look at the squad, but there are players who you can improve on. I mean, I think all of us look at our squad and see players who you can improve on.
Positions.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so, you know, I assume Richard Hughes and Arne Slot will be thinking the same. I get you need to look at your squad, but also you can't wait until the end of the summer where every one of the best players has got off somewhere else, and then you're stuck with Arthur Melo on. Well,
yeah, that's the thing. I referenced a few of them types of deals we did.
Even Ryan Gravenberch, brilliant footballer, so made up that we got him. He had no pre-season and he lacked last season.
But when they fit into a similar category, if you miss out on the targets you pursue or summer for whatever reason, you end up having to, with all due respect to Window, find someone who kind of looks a bit like a stopgap and comes later in the window, doesn't get anything like the sort of preparation pre-season he could have done. And also, nobody can convince me, and again, I should say, I'm fine with the whole Arne Slot need to see people. Certainly, like I said, Vandenberg, you know, Tyler Morton, Fabio Carvalho, the lads that have come back from loans, no problem with that whatsoever. But nobody can convince me that Arne Slot didn't know he was getting the Liverpool job 2 months ago, and he wasn't already, if he wasn't prior to that even, well versed on what the entire Liverpool squad could do. Pretty much, he'll have people telling him as well. He'll have conversations with staff. He spoke to Jurgen Klopp. Like, who knows the depths of that conversation? You know what I mean? He could have been saying, "What do you make of this guy? What do you make of?" He's never going to come out into public knowledge, of course, but those conversations will have been happening. So, as much as I get it, and Arne Slot is such a hands-on head coach that he will want to see them with his own eyes in the flesh, 100%. But he'll have an idea walking into the AXA of who are in his plans and who isn't, and where maybe he needs to improve.
Also, you're into the later stages of the Euros on the Copa, so it's not like you can use it as, like, at the start of the window opening. That's a great excuse to use, because, you know, you don't want to buy a player, then them get injured and not be available for the start of the season, these kind of things.
Absolutely.
They also might just not be as good as you first thought they were, you know, in a major tournament. So, look, that was a great excuse, but now half of the players who Liverpool will be identifying, including Calafiori, is already on holiday. So, you know, he's not in the Euros anymore. You can go after them.
No, absolutely. Harry O'Neill says Calafiori would be a missed target for the price, especially. Absolutely agree with that, mate.
The
100%.
price is ridiculous.
Mohammed says, I think we only sign a centre-back or a left-back if Kostas leaves. Quite possibly. There's another comment. So Mohammed comes back a little bit later on. So if we need a goalkeeper, if Kelleher leaves, absolutely on board with that too. We need a centre-back stroke left-back, DM and right winger. I think that's about right, isn't it, Chloe? For you? Similar to that. And also I wanted to bring up this, mention this. We can't bring up comments today, apologies. Dunny Z says we're nowhere near perfect, and that's also kind of the point as well. We're good, we're there or thereabouts, but when it comes to sort of catching Manchester City and Arsenal, there's improvements to be made. I think it's fair to say that includes the squad we have, and Arne Slot will be working on that, but I also think that in the transfer window as well. Anyway, let's move on to the next story now. Manchester United, Liverpool and Bayern Munich are reportedly in for 59 million. Gleison Bremer, he's caught the attention of Premier League clubs. The Brazilian centre-back, currently plying his trade at Juventus, is linked with moves to Liverpool and Manchester United, among others. This has come from Team Talk, by the way, and it mentions that 59 million price tag. Chloe, positionally, yes, Price-wise, I'm not sure. 27 years old, I'm not sure.
Yeah, no, not for 60 mil, not for me anyway. Also, I mean, I remember before he went to Juve, that was seen as quite a big transfer, and I've not heard nothing of him since.
Until now, when he's leaving apparently, yeah.
So, yeah, for me, I actually think his stats, I think he actually ranked up there with Calafiori, if I'm not mistaken. I think that said it in the piece.
Yeah.
However, 60 mil for a centre-half who, you know, I've not heard much great things of in the last couple of years. He's still entering his peak years now, but it is a lot for a 27-year-old. And once again, when we're just mentioning Calafiori for, 42.5 mil, it seems unbelievable that Liverpool would then go and spend 60 on the likes of Bremer.
No, I absolutely agree. Yeah, and it doesn't really fall into what we have come to expect from Liverpool, even in terms of the price, but definitely the age. I think it's fair to say they're the two real red flags. I mean, if that was Calafiori and he was talking 60 million, I don't think anybody really would have batted an eyelid at that, which makes the fact that Arsenal are going to get Calafiori for a decent chunk of money below that even more remarkable. So yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I'm not sure it's where we should be looking personally. Mentioned he's at Juventus, of course. Want to have a quick look at his season last time.
He played a lot of games.
He played a lot of football, yeah. I'm just going to quickly get it up now. I want to do my FBref player comparison as well. Right-footed centre-back though, which we've got them a little bit. For me personally, and I might be completely inaccurate.
Give Quansah a chance, please.
Well, you've got Quansah, you've got Ibu, potentially Sepp Vandenberg to stick around as well.
Joe Gomez.
Joe Gomez falls into that category. Our next centre-back, it's so simplistic to say this, and obviously Leny Yoro is right-footed, so would fall out of that category, but is viewed as
different signing.
It's slightly differently, exactly. If we do something for the squad that we deem as drastically improving the squad, it kind of has to be left-footed for you.
Yeah, I think you've got enough right-footed centre-halves, and although Virgil van Dijk plays on that left and is incredible with his right foot at doing those crossfield balls to Salah, I just feel like you always need a left-footed centre-half in your squad. I think that's something that Liverpool have missed. And also, for me, why bring Bremer in at the age of 27 when Virgil van Dijk's just not going to be replaced, which means he'd have to take the position of either Quansah or Konate, and if Konate is at his best, you're not displacing him. Yeah. And then if he's not, and it's Joel Quansah or Bremer, you're limiting Joel Quansah's development so much, which is why if you went for a younger style of player and left-footed who could play left-back as well as centre-half, you've got all bases covered. And mainly that's why I was so excited about the likes of Calafiori. He's left-footed, can play centre-half, but right now, do we need him to play centre-half? Not necessarily, but can he play left-back and do a really good job? And then when Virgil van Dijk down the line leaves Liverpool, or Ibu Konate just isn't fit enough and Arne Slot's had enough, then Calafiori can be used as that, that centre-half. So, mad one. I'm not the biggest fan of the Bremer stuff, but I would like to see his stats as well.
No, I'll get them up in a second, I'm with you on the left-footed stuff, just for what it's worth. Tony Smith actually says Kilman would have fitted well a couple of years ago, perhaps. I'm not quite sure right now. Yeah, not for me. They are a unique breed.
Saying no to a 40 mil player. This lad's 60 and the same age as he, not as much.
Exactly. And he's got no Premier League
experience. And the other lad's English and Premier League.
No, what I would say is on left-footed stuff though, they are such a unique breed, they are hard to come across, but that's why I come back to it. I feel like I've said this for the last 10, 15 days on the run, but Calafiori was such a unique opportunity. One, I simply cannot believe.
That's going to hurt me.
Yeah, maybe for a while. Unless Liverpool do a bit of business that kind of makes me forget he ever existed.
Unless he's just crap or gets an injury.
All that.
One of those two.
40 appearances last season for Bremer in Serie A, of course. 3 goals along the way as well. So yeah, decent amount of footy under his belt. Pretty versatile in terms of positions and stuff as well. In terms of played a little bit of right back, but yeah, I'm not sure he is the guy for us personally. Moving on then, stories right. This story won't stop doing the rounds. Apparently, Saudi Arabia Pro League are looking at Alisson Becker once again, and Liverpool have identified Andre Lunin as one under consideration. Lunin, let's forget about Becker to Saudi for a moment.
Lunin did really good for Real Madrid, then didn't play the final because Courtois is better. And Alisson Becker is the only one for me who rivals Courtois as being the best goalkeeper in the world. So to get rid of Alisson Becker and bring in Lunin, who didn't start a Champions League final when Courtois had been injured with his ACL for like the past year, says a lot about, Ancelotti, one of the best coaches in the world. So look, I think he was brilliant. I think he was a hero for for Real Madrid last season.
Get him there,
I think he was unlucky to not play the final. But I don't think he's at the level that Alisson Becker or Courtois are.
But no. Well, on that then, is someone like Andre Lunin more at the level of being a backup and understudy if Keller was to leave?
But once again, that's if he fancies that. He's living in Spain, having a boss life over there, winning everything that he can. And sometimes he gets called upon, and sometimes he can just sit on a bench and do nothing, and earn a really good amount of money in a really sunny country. So, you know, I think third choice would be a little bit rude to him, to be perfectly honest. I think he's, like I said, he was a hero for Real Madrid last year. He's just not of the level of what the likes of Alisson Becker is, and you'd be leaving a massive hole if that was the case. But could he play first team for a lot of Premier League clubs? Yeah, absolutely. So to say third choice, I'm not sure he'd be quite happy with that. No, nor me, to be honest with you. And we'll move on. Nico Williams is our next story. This is a story that just won't go away. As per today's version of Marca over in Spain, Barcelona do not want to enter an auction for Nico Williams as they fear losing to top clubs. Liverpool, Chelsea, Bayern Munich all mentioned in the piece as well. And he mentioned PSG as well in passing. I mean, I don't even really need to ask this question, Chloe, but I'll do it anyway. If there is to be a bidding war, an auction, however you want to describe it. Not that it needs to be, because there's a release clause in place, but if clubs are interested in Nico Williams, we would all want Liverpool to be right in amongst it. Yeah, unbelievable talent is showing it at the Euros right now as well. Was brilliant for, you know, Bilbao last season in terms of output, in terms of actually goal contributions, but, you know, 200k a week, it's not going to happen at the age of 21 when you come to Liverpool. I get it, like maybe that shouldn't be the case at Liverpool, but it's not. Well,
you say that though, right? But Ryan Gravenberch is reportedly on 150k a week. Now Liverpool take, let's just say, a few wages off the books. They already lost a couple in Joe Matip and Thiago as well. Let's say a couple more were to leave as well. You know, your Nat Phillipses of this world. You know, possibly further down the line, Costas Tsimikas. Who knows about the future of Luis Diaz? If we were to move for Nico Williams, you'd imagine Diaz's future is even more uncertain. All of a sudden, 200k, even 210, 220k isn't out the realms of possibility. Now, I'm aware I'm in fantasy land when it comes to numbers here, and to modern people like you, I, and everybody watching probably, they are crazy numbers. But Nico Williams is already on 200k at Bilbao. That's sort of well established now. That's been well reported. So if you can do, is it 50 million or so? Just under 50 million pounds for Nico Williams, and then you give him a 220k a week, for argument's sake, contract. That doesn't feel massively far-fetched when you've already got Ryan Gravenberch, who, again, I love Ryan Gravenberch, but he doesn't seem to be the talent that Williams is.
No, I mean, first of all, is that number correct for Ryan Gravenberch? And if it is, wow. Bayern have really helped him out there by him going there. The thing I would say is I'd offer Nico Williams however much he wanted to play at Liverpool right now, because I just think he's boss.
Salah money?
No. What he wants. Surely he can't go from 200 to 350k.
Well, the problem Liverpool have got really this summer, and this is sort of Nico Williams aside, is a contract situation more generally, actually, because you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk and Mohamed Salah all in the final years of their deal. Three of Liverpool's most important players. Argue amongst yourselves whether that be the case or not. But you've certainly got the talisman in Mo Salah, your vice captain in Trent, and your captain in Virgil van Dijk. So Salah's already on. I mean, they're all on a king's ransom when it comes to the money, of course. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. But in terms of football land, they're on a lot of money, all three of them. But both of them, Trent and Van Dijk, are going to want to get increases, you'd imagine.
This is the thing, though. If you bring in Nico Williams and just instantly offer him 210k
into that sort of sphere,
when, look, he's not proved it for Liverpool that he should be on that amount of money. I get what you mean, but that, like, I'd love for us to sign him and to just give him 200k a week, but what it'd do to the likes of Virgil van Dijk, who's been playing on 200k, and he is our captain. Like, he's been with us since 2018, and only now is he on 200k. That'll slightly move up, but he's in the later stages of his career. You start Nico Williams on 200k now, where the hell are you ending up?
Yeah, where'd you go from there? I see what you're saying.
Mo Salah is on 350, and he's in his last year of his contract at Liverpool, and he only got that with an extension of like 2 years, did he also? So like, it wasn't like they came in and was on heavy money straight away. He's on ridiculous wages already, and And I'd love them to bring him in now, but I just think 3 years down the line, he's off to Barcelona, he's off to Real Madrid, he's off to someone
that's his destination
who will be able to pay him 400k a week, 500k a week, and I'm not sure Liverpool will ever do that. So am I just setting myself up for failure for us to bring him in, and then 3 years down the line he needs a new contract, and he says, actually lads, I can go to PSG and get 500k a week, so I'll see you later.
No, I see what you're saying, and you're not wrong ultimately as well. And he's just a sort of player for me that I would move heaven and earth to get in. Personally, he's that exciting. He's that good right now. Yeah. Plus his ceiling is just ridiculous. I mean, Lamine Yamal on the other side is the other one. He's untouchable basically. But yeah, I would be absolutely all over something like Nico Williams.
I would do it. I wouldn't be against giving him that money. I just think what it would cause for the rest of the squad who've sat there and, gave so much to the team for the last however many years, and they're on less money than a 21-year-old who's just coming in. Yeah. I just feel like it would piss a lot of them off. That's the only thing I would say. But I think he is unbelievable, and I live in a world where Liverpool would hopefully. Yeah, no, I'm with you. But it will never happen.
Ultimately,
but I can live in that world.
Ultimately, I'm on board with what you're saying. I just think if Barcelona can't make it happen, which also feels very possible given the financial problems they've had in recent times. 100 million debt also. No? Yeah, exactly. And obviously, you factor in his wages that we've just discussed and stuff like that. What Liverpool have done well in recent times in terms of contracts is they've been very incentivised, and it's not necessarily always been about sort of your basic salary in terms of your week in, week out pay. It's been, we do this, you get that, and so on and so forth. So who knows? There might be a conversation in and around that for Nico Williams. But again, he's not going to take a pay cut. No. I think we know that for certain.
And also, he's destined on Barca.
Yeah, that's the other problem.
Literally is already in Spain.
Sam, Chloe, I'll put this to you. Barcelona would never go for this, by the way, as much as they probably like Luis Diaz. Sam, super chat, thank you very much, by the way, as well. We can't bring him up on screen. I do apologise for that throughout. But Diaz for Yamal in a swap deal.
I reckon he's got about a 3 billion contract buyout clause.
They like a billion.
They love $1 billion in their contracts. Right. And there's some people who I would not give you 40 mil for, who's got $1 billion in their contracts over there. So I can imagine Lamine Yamal, who I would move heaven on earth for, like you said, will most definitely be out of question. I would do it in a heartbeat. Barca are not that stupid to do that, though.
This isn't news, so forgive me, everyone watching for a second, but there's reports saying that Dani Olmo has a release clause that expires on Monday.
He's injured too much. Unbelievable footballer, technically. Wow. Yeah. Like last night when I was like,
big fan.
Oh, he's so good technically with the ball. Okay. Technically incredible, but I don't think I don't see him a lot for RB Leipzig is the only thing.
Okay, not robust enough, you don't think, to do it in the Prem?
I don't know. I like him technically. I think he's outstanding, and his release clause isn't that
not
bad.
Much. Is it in around the 45 to 50 again? I think. I don't think it's crazy.
That's really good, actually, isn't it? Yeah. You just have to try and keep him fit, but I think he's superb.
Well, hopefully Liverpool's fitness record does improve with the new people behind the scenes. Yeah. By all accounts, it should be doing, because Arne Slot's previous teams have got a good record when it comes to fitness and longevity and lack of injuries. So Ruben Peters is obviously the man behind that. Anyway, quickly we'll wrap up some more Liverpool stuff before we go. I'll get through a couple more comments as we do as well. Taro Endo and Mohamed Salah back at the AXA, Chloe. It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I have enjoyed watching Salah and Kostas just isolate absolutely everyone and go back to being busy mates. Literally every photo of them is just them sat on their own eating their own dinner whilst everyone else is in a group. But great to get him back. Great to have a full pre-season because he got injured. His first really bad. I mean, look, I know he got injured in the Champions League final against Real Madrid, but he had the entire pre-season to get through that.
And muscle injuries are different than like a knock sort
and
of
also
thing,
he came back and then got re-injured after only playing 60 minutes or whatever. So it's a big pre-season for him. Just to he already looks back to his best. Like his fitness is ridiculous. So I've got nothing to worry about there. No. But it's just nice to have him for an entire pre-season. And as for Wataru Endo, who knows how big of a impact he'll have on Liverpool next season. But if he does have a big impact, it'll most definitely be down to him having a full pre-season and understanding exactly what Arne Slot wants from him.
Absolutely. A couple of people in the chat saying that Gordon is a very good option. For a moment I thought he meant Cade Gordon, but I assume talking about Anthony Gordon in terms of attacking targets. Yeah, I'm assuming so.
Yeah, no, I was thinking Cade Gordon.
It's all gone quiet on that front. But anyway, we'll wait and see what happens.
That's not happening either.
I know, I highly doubt it now. It felt like that window opportunity might have been and gone, unfortunately. I noticed yesterday a lot of people talk about Rhys Williams and Billy Cometio not being back at the AXA. Yeah, speaking about people that have been. I mean, we're expecting that Phillips to leave as well this summer. I assume we're just going to expect a few more Finnish players like that. Time has probably come on both of their times at Liverpool, it's fair to say. Especially when you consider Jarell Quansah, Sepp van den Berg, both emerged when it comes to Quansah. But yeah, I think Rhys Williams and Billy Cometio could be on the way.
Yeah. To try and not be too rude, I don't think there was any point in when watching Liverpool. I think that Rhys Williams or Nat Phillips would be a Liverpool centre half long term. They were absolute heroes for us in that season. The entire reason why we managed to get top four. They played through being absolutely battered. I think the last game of the season they both had their heads wrapped up in cotton wool because they'd been headbutted all over the gaff. So. For Nat Phillips and Williams, brilliant servants. Even Rhys Williams last season playing for the unders and being a captain for them and being a very vital part of that squad that had so many top quality players, the likes of Jayden Daniels, Kumas, all these players coming through. So thanks so much for the time. But go and enjoy, go and actually play football. There's no way they've enjoyed this, playing in the under-21s or being loaned out to Celtic, then Cardiff. Go and get a run in somewhere where you can be someone's number one centre half, and go and enjoy it. I wish nothing but the best. As for Cometio, I feel like several years ago everyone was like, he's unbelievable.
We had that pre-season in Austria and he scored an absolute worldy goal in it, I think, and he was ahead of his years, beyond his years in terms of his physicality, and everyone just thought, wow, he played against, I want to say AC Milan and possibly in that game against Leicester as well in the Carabao Cup, and everyone thought, okay, he seems to be the next cab off the rank. He's never quite materialised. He spent a bad spell on loan in France, I think at Dunkirk last season. My knowledge of what Liverpool Finnish players are doing is clearly silly. And then went to Blackburn for the second half of the season. It didn't really work at either, so I expect him to leave. Jonesy lad is quickly, thank you for the super chat as well, mate. He's asking about the young lad from Chelsea, Chloe. I mean, let's be honest, he's 15 years of age. We haven't seen
Has
a lot of him.
Has anyone seen this exciting? Like,
it's crazy, isn't it?
In your life, have you seen anyone, and I mean anyone, this excited for a transfer of a lad who's 15? I mean, if Lamine Yamal left at the age of 16, sure, everyone. But like the amount of scouting, like social accounts that I have seen who've harped on about him being the next best thing is ridiculous. That's still not over the line, though, is my problem.
No, and that's why I'm not really willing to dive into it too much. Not we speak about transfers all the time.
Apparently Chelsea are
furious about it. It isn't done, and he's 15, so I'm not willing to go all in on that conversation personally. But
you do have to be a bit arrogant and cocky, which...
Yeah, he looks very exciting. And in terms of the question more generally, in terms of him sort of being fast-tracked, what I will say on that is it's kind of happened before. Literally this season just gone, in Trey Agnoni, signed from Leicester about 12 months ago, sort of in and around this time of year. Had a very good start with 18s. Before you know it, he's playing 21s. And before you know it, he's coming on an FA Cup game against Southampton. So it's not out the realms of possibility that this kid does something similar. You know what I mean? And Liverpool, on that note as well, have a very good recent track record of signing very exciting youngsters from in and around the country. Bendo, Kay Gordon, as mentioned a moment ago. So yeah, wait and see on that one. Let's get the deal over the line first, and then we'll go from there. I am excited to watch him though if he does arrive.
Extremely excited.
Yeah, he looks the business, and all the talk, all the noise. I'm planning to have a conversation with somebody who knows far better than we do about him in the next few days, actually. But yeah, he does look good. And Charles J is definitely backing him. He says Rio is better than Endrick by a mile. That'll do for me. As long as it's not the Endrick that played the other night and his only completed pass was the kickoff for Brazil. Then
that was a really bad game.
I say that he's playing for Brazil, so he's doing.
He is. Yeah. He still wasn't good. He got bullied by Araujo all game.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then Rafinha decided to try and take on Araujo, and we were all like, well, it's not going to happen.
No. Alexis McAllister, speaking of South American things, is in the Copa America final.
Love that for him. Hate it for us, love it for him.
Ultimately, I said this to you the other day, or someone upstairs.
Matter, does it?
It's kind of by the by at this point, isn't it? A couple of days here or there, and there is also the fact that one of these lads, now obviously it's Copa America semi-finals again tonight, the second games, it's Luis Diaz's Colombia against Darwin Núñez's Uruguay. So one of the Liverpool representatives is going to come back with a Copa America winners medal. That, to me, at this stage, just feels like a good thing.
Yeah, it does. I'm all about Argentina, so I do kind of just want Argentina. I mean, Lionel Messi is the greatest footballer to ever grace this earth for me. So I've always got a soft spot for Argentina. Loved them, was my team through the World Cup. And having Alexis McAllister there as well, a player who I adore and think is one of Liverpool's, biggest players next season. He is one of the names starting on that team sheet every single week without question. I'd love him to go and win it, but do I think it'd be better in terms of confidence for Diaz or Nunes to win it? Yeah, but do I care? No,
it's certainly Nunes. I've got sort of visions of Darwin Nunes winning that thing and maybe even getting the winner and just coming back. Imagine
one of them is going to win, and that's the best part.
Yeah, no, I agree. Mike JH mentioned João Gomez from Wolves. I have seen those links, but they haven't really moved any further forwards than the initial link, so we're not going to spend too long dwelling on them either. But I appreciate the question, by the by. Just finally, obviously, Bukanate was eliminated from the Euros last night at the hands of Spain, and they never kicked the ball in anger.
He's practically been on holiday for the last 3 weeks anyway.
He's going to get another 3 weeks off now. I wonder whether people like that come back early. If I was him, surely I'd be half tempted.
I would.
I'd be half tempted.
You've done nothing for 3 weeks. Though.
Especially in Konate's case, actually, let's dig into this a tiny bit more while we're here. Because ended the season not playing in the first team. Joel Quansah had ousted him in that situation. Hasn't had the best track record when it comes to injuries and staying fit. So he should be looking at this and going, okay, I haven't played in the Euros. I might have a week off and then get me back to the AXA, get me in front of him on the slot and let him show what I can do.
Yeah, I mean, I have 2 weeks off because a week just goes dead fast.
Okay.
Then again, he has been in Germany.
I don't think he sits there on a Sunday night going, God, that's gone quick. Not like us, is he?
No, but I definitely think that.
Okay.
So yeah, have a short break, but if I was him, I'd be wanting to try and claim that other centre-half place again.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's older than Quansah. He's physically a more of a unit. And he, sorry to mention it, but that 2022 final was the best player on the pitch. So I hope he has a desire to come back, especially after an injured season and then a season of actually being really bad. Let's just not lie.
Yeah.
He has to come back sharp as anything. He has to be ready to fight for his place and he has to give everything, and hopefully he does do that, and hopefully it starts in pre-season, maybe coming back a little bit early. I doubt he'll choose that.
Well, somebody else just said actually he loves a party, there's no way he'll be doing it. It'll never happen, King Jason says actually.
It's alright, he's got nothing to party about because France are in the final.
Oh, shots fired. Etsam asks, if Nunes wins the Copa, is that on par with Torres winning the Euros with Spain? Possibly, because Uruguay were definitely not the favourites for this competition. It is very much Argentina, probably closely followed by Brazil. Even Colombia on a crazy run at the minute in terms of their unbeaten record. So yeah, I think if Uruguay was to be instrumental in firing Uruguay to that, I think that would be massive for Darwin. Yeah, absolutely.
It'd be massive for Luis Suarez as well, wherever he is.
Also true. Also very true.
Because I don't think he's like playing.
No, he's just there.
But he's just he's Luis Suarez.
He's literally you.
They did a combined South American 11, and apparently Luis Suarez wasn't in it. Obviously, Pele was in the Pele and Messi kind of beat him to it, I think. Which,
it's what I'd say.
I didn't watch Pele kick a football, so can I put him in there?
I'd say it must be some 11, by the way. I was messing around with it all weekend whilst it was raining. We were supposed to be playing cricket, naming all kinds of different 11s. Oh, you wouldn't believe the amount of 11s we went through.
Who would you? People were putting Thiago Silva in that in their back four.
In the South American all-time 11? Yeah. Tell you what, the full-backs are strong, like Cafu and Carlos. Dear me. Christ. They are honestly unbelievable.
Who's the goalkeeper?
I mean, Dida or probably Alisson. Yeah. Genuinely, probably Alisson though. He's that good in my opinion. Anyway, completely got sidetracked there.
Sorry, it's just a ridiculous squad.
Oh, it's some side like Rio Kelmes of this world. Like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Ronaldinho, Neymar. The list goes on. England, Netherlands tonight, Chloe. Let's wrap up on that, shall we? 2 questions: who's going to win, and are we? Who's going to win? Who do you want to win? And are we going to see Trent?
England will win it all. I do not want that to happen.
Okay.
I want the Netherlands to win because I would like Cody Gakpo to be player of the tournament and also finish on the most goals. I'd also love nothing more than Virgil van Dijk lifting a trophy after all of like Rafael van der Vaart and all of them just absolutely go after him. Would love nothing more for him to lift the Euros. England have just had such an easy run. It's been absolutely ridiculous, and they've played the most boring games of football I've ever watched in my life. So I don't want to sit through that again twice over. So I'm hoping the Netherlands, but I do have a sneaky suspicion that England will go on and win everything, and people will just forget how bad Gareth Southgate was at the start of this tournament.
And Trent's involvement?
No. He'll come on to take a pen if it goes to pens.
Okay, interesting.
He's not going to back him at no point. And also, Luke Shaw might be back at this point, which means Kyle Walker right back, Luke Shaw left back, all sorted.
I think you might be right, unfortunately. Yeah, we're going to have to live through that a little bit later.
I'd also really like England to be knocked out, mainly for the reason that, like, I do want Trent to win, and clearly he wants to win, but I would really like it if he kind of also knocked them out in terms of just Gareth Southgate just...
I'm here for that. Yeah, I'm here for that. I must admit, I was delighted.
I don't want him to do it.
I was delighted he scored that pen, because
it was horrific.
The fallout, had he have not scored that pen, would have been the worst.
If he was any other number but fifth, I'd have potentially been okay with him missing. Yeah. But him being fifth meant he could not miss, and I was so happy when he scored it. But also, I can't stand Gareth Southgate, so I would really like everyone to just highlight how bad of a manager he is.
Okay, sound. That was that then. I'll quickly run through the news before we go dead quickly. And the main stories anyway. Leny Yoro, Manchester United reportedly had a bid accepted by Lille for Leny Yoro. It's now up to him whether he chooses Manchester United or continues to wait for Real Madrid. Therefore, it's over to you, Liverpool, in terms of what you do. If you really are that keen on a player, time to do a little bit of business in there. Wataru Endo, Mohamed Salah back at the AXA for training, which is good. Liverpool linked to Bremer, whatever. Andre Lunin, kind of likewise. Nico Williams, Barcelona don't want to get into an auction. Liverpool mentioned as being one of the potential suitors there. And Alexis McAllister reached the Copa America final with Argentina last night. That's just good. He's just boss. You're all boss as well. See you soon.